Hey everybody! I've been talking about doing this video for a while, and now I'm just going for it. So this is going to be my Sharpie sort of tutorial slash product review as a coloring medium video where I show you all my different Sharpies, when you should use them, when you shouldn't use them, show you some finished work, and we're going to do a little bit of a color along with the Sharpies as well. So, a lot of newer colorists are not aware of the fact that you can use Sharpies for adult coloring books. And even though we associate Sharpies as the classic black Sharpie everybody has in their junk drawer or their pen drawer, like we don't really associate these with something we would color with. And I can tell you that I am a giant fan of Sharpies. Sharpies are awesome for adult coloring. The color is so thick and rich and heavy, and it goes on really, really well. You don't need more than one layer. The colors are popping and bright. The pens last forever and ever. I mean, I love, love, love my Sharpies. Sharpies have been around since 1964. Currently, according to the company, they say they have 49 colors. I don't know if that includes some of the special edition sets. So I'm going to show you some of what I have here. So I have a few things I haven't opened. I just purchased this one. Like I found these Sharpies S-Note, which are like the fine point where you can write like in journals and things like that, with these kind of pretty light pastels, which are colors I haven't seen. They're considered mild colors. So I don't know like if their 49 colors are just their standard, but then you do see these limited edition types and styles and sets sometimes. So these are nice for small little areas or fine or narrow things you might have on coloring pages where you have smaller little knickknacks to color. I also picked up this one at Walgreens. This is their neon, well, it says it has their standard, a few standard colors, which is the black, the blue, the green, the purple, red, 4 bonus neon colors, and the 2 metallics, the bronze and the silver. And I can tell you that these you will use around the holidays a ton for all of those ornaments, all the like the silver hooks and things. Whenever you have gems or jewels for like outdoor scenes like folding chairs or picnic tables where you might have a silver pole that's holding up a chair together for like luggage and trunks where you have silver latches or locks, or light fixtures, whether we might have brass or bronze light fixtures. So these would be ones you would use a lot. The neons are so pretty. They're really good. I did a whole picture in neon Sharpies. I'll show you in a minute. So this is just like a basic set. I found this with the school supplies. Nice little starter pack or something like that. This one I love, love, love. Brand new. I got this on Amazon. I don't remember. Let's see. How many are in here? This is supposed to be their standard set of core colors plus their new special, some of their new special gems, jewel tone ones or something like that. And it doesn't have the neons. It doesn't have the bronze or the silver. It has all the standard, all the greens they make, the blues they make, pinks and purples. But I have a few in my random basket from my Color Burst set, my Electric Pop set that I don't see here. But this is a great starter. I just got this one, even though I have tons of Sharpies, because I you know, the thing about Sharpies, it's really hard to find individual replacements. And so over time, I've tossed a green, tossed a blue, tossed a red, and I've started to run low. So I wanted a brand new set, and that's fantastic. This I got at Walmart. This is just those sort of what they call the Mystic Gem or Mystic Jewel, something like that set. They had a sign up. It has these kind of muted, pastel-y kind of colors. A couple of these are in this bigger set, but I didn't see them all in there, so it's not always clear. See, it says special edition. It's not always clear what is inside of what. I just buy all the Sharpies because I just love them so much. I have 2 baskets here, so you can get what they call the fine liner ones. So I keep these ones in here for, again, the coloring pages, the mandalas, the really narrow areas where you need to get have small points. I don't use these nearly as much, and these are my backup duplicates for ones I have in this basket. These are colors. Some of these colors might be in my bigger set. Some of them are not because they're older. For example, this purple is not in that set. There are colors in here that look different when I hold them up to the ones in the big set. I do have some neons in here, so I haven't opened my new neon set. I use the neons a lot, so they'll run out. So I have all of these Sharpies. I use them so often, you can't believe it. This is like my fine liner and backup bin, where I have the duplicates of some in here, but they do run out. I mean, they last a long time, but I use mine a lot. So they do run out or run dry. And I'm going to tell you how you can preserve some of your ink. So let me show you a picture I showed you in what I colored for July 2022. I did this entire Deborah Muller picture all in Sharpies here. So all neon, everything here, except her skin tone was not Sharpies. Those are Copics. These are all Sharpies, the regular green Sharpie, black Sharpie. All of these are the Sharpie neons. I think the color is gorgeous. It really does pop off the page, and it's such a nice, thick color. You can't really go wrong. Let me show you in this book, Spooky Girl. I did a whole picture in Sharpies, and I'm going to talk about what you should and shouldn't use it for in a minute, if I can find it. So this whole picture here I did with this set here, the jewel tone ones, except for her face again, which I use Copics, the creepy face. And I just did one solid color, mostly for the flowers. But look how thick and dark and bold the color is. Just a single layer. That's one layer. So Sharpies are really great. I don't generally do whole pictures in Sharpies. They're more like accent pens or details or smaller narrow areas. I think I started another thing in Sharpie in here when I was testing those out. I did this chair with some green and purple Sharpies as well. So let me show you something else. So when do you want to use your Sharpies? Deborah Muller's pages are a great example of something the type of pages to do Sharpies with. So, for example, this here was entirely done in Sharpies. The background, you see how you see a lot of like lines. Like you have images that have a lot of like squares, shapes, circles, stripes, checks, dots, hem borders, something small like shoes, hair that's done in individual strands, like here. Her whole outfit, you see how there's lots of stripes, dots, shapes. These are the perfect type of pictures for Sharpies because the color goes on thick. You can coordinate some of the colors for a theme. The little areas you're doing are small. You're not going to use tons of ink. I did do these 2 clouds in Sharpies. I outlined it with a darker one, and then I blended in the lighter ones. Again, generally I don't do areas that are that much bigger with Sharpies, but I wanted you to see a whole picture done with Sharpies. Her hair was not done in Sharpies. Now, for the longest time, Sharpie, the only neutral brown tan color of Sharpie there was is just a plain brown. That's it. There's no skin tones, there are no tans or other brown families. I finally discovered one Sharpie called Almond that was like a light tan. Finally discovered it, and I had to buy it individually. And I haven't gotten the mail yet, so, but I had to do something different for her hair. But generally, if you're doing colored hair or brown, you could have used it here. But these kind of pictures have small little details and clothings. I use black Sharpies a lot for my mascara, for doing eyeliners. I always do black Sharpies for beaks, bird feet, things like that, for eyes, eyelashes. So like, again, I might do Sharpies in her wardrobe here, and then something like an alcohol marker or pastel for the background. So that kind of thing. Like, for example, you would not want to do what I did here. I did this whole pig. This is Bacon at the Beach by Deborah Muller in a pink Sharpie. And this is a huge pig, right? It's the size of the page. And this uses a ton of pink ink. And, you know, Sharpies are good for, like, see if I can get one here. You want to do, like, let me get a green. Something small, like a leaf. You know, I mean, they're not super fine. They're kind of fat at the tip. So you don't want to do anything too narrow or you'll go over the line. But you want to do small little areas, right? See that olivey green just kind of goes right on there. Nice and thick, easy, barely have to press down. See again, I went a little bit over because these are kind of thick. So you have to be real slow. But when you start doing big areas, you cannot go like coloring like this because it'll leave stripes with a Sharpie. You have to do little circles, little circles, little circles, little circles, little circles. And I wanted to show you this was done more like with the stripes. And you can kind of see it's all kind of like hazy. It's not blended in well. I'm going to have to go over this with a pencil, pink pencil, to finish that off. So you generally don't want to do huge areas with Sharpies. But again, this pool toy would be great. The dots could be in Sharpies. The leaves could be in Sharpies. Little accent things. The bathing suit top. The rim around the glasses. For nice bold popping colors. That's where you might want to use Sharpies. So let me show you here on this gal. This is a Deborah Muller. This is a printable off of her Etsy page. I believe it's called, oh, I'm not sure. It might be called Artsy Girl or something because she has the brushes in her hair. This is a good one to do Sharpies. Her hair would be great for Sharpies because it's just the kind of the lines. The roses, you can do roses and Sharpies, and that's what I'm going to show you. And I kind of envisioned all the different oranges and yellows for the roses here. So I'm going to take out, we're going to do a rose and some Sharpies, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to use my big set. So these are different. You know, you can, Deborah Muller stuff is kind of a little eclectic, a little hip hop, a little punk. So we might want to do, I'm going to do some roses that have like all four kind of different colors, like yellows and oranges in one. So let's just, and I'm not going to do it in any particular order. I'm just going to start with one random section of a petal. Oh, you just barely press, and it's okay if it overlaps because you can blend these. They do blend somewhat well, surprisingly. You just kind of barely put the color on. I mean, the color is just so great. Sharpie colors are just nice and thick. I just love it. Not quite as translucent-y as like alcohol markers, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to do 3 different little petals. And by the way, most of the time, the Sharpies don't have color names on them. I have like no clue what color these are. There's no number. That's the only downside. There's no name. So that's the one downside I believe about Sharpies that I don't like. Let's pick a different color and just kind of pick another petal. And again, just do little squiggly bits. Just kind of keep the nib always close to the nib, if that makes sense. Don't go far away from it in a line or a stroke. Just kind of move it a teeny bit to either side of the tip. just gonna, just little kind of circles. Let's do a little bit of the center here. Now you notice in this, I'm not blending anything. I'm giving each different petals different colors. But you can blend these, and I can show you that on a different rose. This one has a little bit more of a greenish gold to it. So we're just kind of going for this orange yellow theme here. And then I'll move into one more, and you just kind of space out, like do 2 or 3 little petal areas with a color, each color, and kind of move them away from each other. Let's do this one here. That one's a little close to that orange, so it might blend in, so I could have done like a yellow there, but I'm not doing any particular pattern. I'm just trying to kind of show you. You can do these kind of, these almost look like retro roses to me, if that makes any sense. Retro, they kind of have that retro color thing. I'm going to get a different yellow here. Let's get one of these yellows and put in a yellow. Just kind of squiggle it so you're not doing strokes. That way it'll just be like a nice solid fill in the blank. And each one will be a little different. You're not going to have the same color in each proximity to each other color in every rose you do. I did 2 there. I'm going to pick this one, this hot orange. So already I see this coming together as kind of a 1960s palette. Kind of like that whole Mad Men decor with the oranges, the golds, the yellows, the rust colors, the old ugly checkered clothes and pants we see in our parents' photos back in the day. That's what this is going to look like to me, kind of vintage. I'm going to bring this darker one over here too. And you see how great this color is? I mean, I have the camera pretty far away, and I'm sure you can see it pretty well. Let's bring in this kind of peachy color. Now these probably will look like an eyesore to some people, because it is very, like I said, a vintage color theme. Kind of Brady Bunch is what's coming to mind now, but that's kind of what I'm going for in this picture. So I guess I'm going to add this to what I colored in August 2022 pile, which was not previously in that pile. But maybe I'll try to get that done. This one almost has a little more pink to it. It's not going quite as well, so I'm going to set that aside. I might not do that again. You can put in some pops of red, but we're doing these. Let's get another yellow, a lighter yellow. Is this lighter? Yep, we have more of a lemon yellow here. I'm just showing you what some of these colors look like. There's that little lemon yellow. And then I want to put in a little bit of this red, reddish orange in the middle. So that's one thing you can do. And I finished it. So basically we have kind of a kaleidoscope looking rose, right? Kind of out there, kind of not really realistic, but more artistic, mosaic look. And you know, you could do this, what I did with every single rose, or let's see if we can do a little blending. I'm going to take just a couple oranges. Let's go to this one. I'm going to do just the outside, or I'm sorry, like kind of a outline this one section of the petal in the orange. Here's a little bit of a lighter orange. Sometimes they look lighter, but they're not. See, this one is almost looking darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what I just did. Now that I realize it's darker, normally I would test these before I start and go back to this one. This one looks lighter, but it's darker. So it's a little misleading. Make sure you swatch them out. I'm just going to kind of blend that in. go into this lighter one here. And you have a nice, and this one, this rose might look a little more natural. So remember, this lighter one is darker. So let's just do this again here. And we'll leave a little more space for the lighter color this time. Just outline it there. Again, these pens are just so easy to work with. And if you're a beginner, get your first set of Sharpies. I mean, I think Costco, if you're live somewhere where they have Costco or Sam's Club, they have giant Sharpie sets. I've seen where the office supplies are. Sharpies are a great starter for markers, for adult colorists. They're not the ideal blending medium, but they do blend a little. You can work it in as long as you make sure it's wet when you're blending it in. I mean, it doesn't blend as well as like some of the thinner alcohol markers, but it does give a nice effect. And, you know, Sharpies are pretty affordable. Now, another thing you can do that's fantastic, Prismacolor pencils look awesome and lay awesome over dried Sharpie. So when this dries, I could go in with a yellow Prismacolor over the lighter orange and give it a nice blended effect. I can go over it with an actual orange and on and on and on. Let's see. So yeah, so Sharpies are really great for going underneath Prismacolor pencils. So if you have a full set of Sharpies and your full set of Prismacolor pencils, you can do some nice stuff. And I don't have a pencil here to show you. So here I did two of the different kind of lighter oranges with a darker one on the outside. So this is a little different effect, right? Here we did each little petal a different color. Here we're just doing maybe like two different colors in different areas and blending them. What's going to be important is that all these roses have a similar color theme, right? You don't want to start adding any pinks and purples because that's not going to look real good with these kind of muted vintage, you know, retro looking colors. So now we need to stay in the earth tone family. Browns, oranges, yellows, tans. Some greens will look good. The green with the leaves is going to look nice. I think I like the blended ones better. You can even take this one, go over here now that this is dried, to bring this color into this one, which is not a color we had used before. And this is really simple blending. Not hard whatsoever. Very basic skill. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of do the outline and get this color in there. Let's do a little green on the leaves and look at that next. So in the end, I think I like the blended one better. So I'm going to do all these roses in this color palette. And then I got to figure out what to do. Her skin is going to look better to be like an ethnic, probably in the brown field because of the colors we have here. So for this green, I don't think we want to go with a bright popping green. I'm going to go with these greens are going to look like earth tones. Like these are fall colors, fall forest. I might want to get a third lighter one. So there's two different things we can do in these kind of leaves with Sharpies. You can do each segment of the leaf in a different green, or you can blend all three into one. And let's try that first. So I'm just going to do the tip of this first part of the leaf segment. Go darkest to medium to lightest of your three colors. You may have to test them out if you're not sure. Blend right at the edge, then go back over the part you did to blend it. Then go to your lightest one, blend that, fill in the rest, and bring it over. And go along the line. That looks really pretty. You can pull this darker color down with your final color. Blend it all in together. So that's a nice leaf effect. The little bit of darker areas give it some shadowing. So that's one thing you can do. You can also do, let's go to the leaf next to it. I'm going to do a whole petal in this dark one. If you just want to do simple, no blending. So you have 3 colors. So 1, 2, 3. So every third one, you're going to put down this darker color. Right there, no blending. Go into your medium one. Very basic, non-blending Sharpie stuff here. But you still want to mix your colors so it's not too dull and kind of boring and flat. So in this case, you have a leaf where you have every segment of the leaf, you know, rotating colors for different effects, you know, for how the light might hit it, more kaleidoscope or rainbowy. And then you can go back and finish this every section on this leaf with that same blending we did before, starting with the dark, going to the medium, going to the lightest. Now in this case, the leaf is all gonna, every petal is gonna look kind of the same, or not petal, every segment of the leaf. But you still see some shadowing because you're going dark, medium, lighter. So a whole leaf will look like this, whereas this one, you're rotating each green color in each leaf. Now, I mean, there's not a huge difference. Now, I wouldn't lay another dark right by this. So like, since we have the darkest here and the darkest here, let's put this other darkest kind of in the middle. So they're kind of all spaced out. And this is something that you just can play with. And Deborah Muller's books or her printables on her Etsy shop, a lot of her pictures are this kind of like line art, and you have a lot of squares and shapes and lines and rectangles and circles, and it's just great for practicing how to use Sharpies. So here we have one leaf done with every section of the leaf a different color, which looks kind of cool. I do like that effect. It looks a little less realistic. It looks more, you know, like something you'd see in a children's book drawing versus here. Now, I did it backwards. Normally, I would start with the dark on the inside and pull the light out this way, but for some reason, I wasn't thinking, and I started the opposite way. So let's just finish that. Whereas this one is going to have a little more realism with every part of the leaf looking the same, and that kind of gradient effect where you kind of are bringing all the greens together. You just don't want to jump from a medium green to a green that's too light, or you'll see a line where you blend in the lightest one. You only want to like go down a shade or two when you're blending. Let's just do that part right there. So you see the difference. This one looks really pretty. Looks like it has highlights. The light's hitting it in certain areas. This one is more like kaleidoscopy or rainbowy. Just like here we blended the Sharpies, and here we did every section of the petal different. This one, the blended ones look a little prettier, I believe, than the single sections of the Sharpies. When I do single sections of Sharpies, I often want to go back over with my Prismacolor pencils and make the color a little bit richer. But overall, you kind of get a gist for what's going on here. So I'm going to end up doing all these flowers and leaves in this color palette with these Sharpies, which takes a while. You saw how long it took just to do that. Then I'm going to figure out her hair is probably going to be a brown. I might do like a lime green neon for the background, which would look great. And of course, I'll do her skin in my standard Copic markers or something like that. And I have not figured out how I'm going to do this, the tattoo, so that'll be interesting. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I'll link below the Sharpie sets I do have in case you want to pick them up for yourself. Sharpies are fun, fantastic, and great for so many things. I love Sharpies for lipstick, by the way. For eyes, they blend nice, like these kind of colors for eyes. And on and on. You just can't go wrong with your Sharpies. I mean, I love my Sharpies. And you know what? They're really affordable. Don't get them on your skin. Don't rub it in with your fingers. They do have toxic chemicals that, you know, are associated with kidney disease and things like that. Like a lot of art supplies. But just trying to get it on your skin and I think you'll be good. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching.